The 2020-21 season countdown is brought to you by Oddschecker, your one-stop betting hub. Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Brought to you by Oddschecker, your one-stop betting hub for all the betting bookies, all in one place. If you want to get them all, just go to there. They give some great odds. I told you yesterday about the one they were doing on Aubameyang, 6-1 for him to win the Golden Boot. I also noticed that in there, 16-1, Sadio Mane. That's got to be worth a punt. 16-1, Mane. I thought he'd be, much higher odds than that. So, I think that's definitely worth a shout. Although, of course, we want Aubameyang to get it. Only 5 days to go. We're counting it down with Oddschecker this week. Only 5 days to go until the opening game when Arsenal take on Fulham. That is the first game of the season. I'm really looking forward to that. Also, don't forget, the Carabao Cup fixtures were announced yesterday. Arsenal taking on Leicester away. That is tough. We haven't had a good record at Leicester in recent times, so that's going to be a tough game in the Carabao Cup. Normally hopefully you get a sort of, League One or League Two team earlier on in the tournament, but we're right up against it right at the beginning there. Leicester away. So that's going to be a real tough ask for Arsenal. And also I've got to say congratulations going out to the women's team. They kicked off their season yesterday with an emphatic 6-1 win over Reading. Danielle Carter actually scored for Reading. She used to play for Arsenal as well. So it's literally like Arsenal players scoring all the goals. But well done to them, and good to see that they've got this season back underway. Remember, Pippa Monique is going to be covering all of the Arsenal ladies games here on AFTV. So make sure you check out all of her previews and reviews of games. She gets a lot of access to players as well. So it's really, really good stuff. The transfer rumours, Hector Bellerin is back in the news. He's all over the place again, this time with Bayer Leverkusen being linked with a move for him. We already know that PSG are really interested in signing him. They need a right back. Bayer Leverkusen also looking for a right back. Now, you'd be looking at him thinking Leverkusen ain't going to be able to afford the sort of money to get a player like Hector Bellerin. However, you forget they've just made £71 million by selling Kai Havertz. So they've got a lot of money burning a hole in their pocket to do business. And they're said to be very interested in signing Hector Bellerin. To be honest, for me, I can't see Hector Bellerin going to Bayer Leverkusen unless they offered him some mega wages. It's still, for me, way more likely that he ends up at PSG. PSG would be a much sort of, interesting project for him. Of course, PSG are in the Champions League. You get to play with Neymar, Mbappe, all these superstar players, and get good money. And as DT pointed out on the podcast, we know about Hector's interest in fashion. He'd be in Paris. What a better, no better place to be. Although he could stay at Arsenal, he could be saying to himself that, Mikel Arteta, the project that's on there, I want to stay. I mean, there has been rumours that he wants a new challenge, and it would be a great move for him if he did move. And, looking at the comments from a lot of fans, I asked you guys the question about Bellerin. Looking from the comments from a lot of you guys, it seems like you guys would be, the vast majority would be willing to cash in on Hector Bellerin. You think that there's cover now with Cedric and also with Ainsley Maitland-Niles staying. So a lot of you seem to be suggesting yesterday that, you know what, cash in on him. So it's going to be an interesting one. Houssem Aouar as well. I've spoken about that now, day after day after day. Aouar, again, being spoken about today. Now, it's emerging. It's not that, well, you know what? It's a lot of people have been talking about this for days, but again, it's coming out again today that Arsenal put another offer in for Houssem Aouar that was turned down. Is said to be an unnamed player. This is what one of the outlets are reporting. An unnamed Arsenal player was offered plus, I think it was £32 million. That was turned down by Lyon. I think that unnamed player is Guendouzi. I think we know that that's the unnamed player. It's Guendouzi. Leon are not interested in Guendouzi. Leon just want the money. I think Leon, though, do have to be a little careful. And I think this is one that could play out till the end of the transfer window. It's going to be interesting, this one, because Leon are not in the greatest, even though, you know, and Fabrizio Romano said it on the show the other day that Leon drive a real hard bargain for their players, which they do. But Leon not exactly in the greatest of positions financially at the moment. There's no European football for them next year. They missed out. Remember, the French league finished early. They got to the semi-finals, of course, of the Champions League and would have made a lot of money off of that, but nothing to follow it up this season. They've been definitely looking at, you know, they're a club that does that all the time. They move on their best players. Remember Lacazette coming to us, and they cash them in for a lot of money. Then they go again very successfully. They've got a great way of doing things. I think some of the bids they were looking to come in for some of their star players hasn't really materialized as much as they thought. You know, Dembele, they thought that they'd get a mega bid for. He's still there. Aouar, you know, something's going to have to give. They're not going to be able to hold on to all of these players. And it could be a bit of a waiting game for Arsenal, where they kind of keep chipping away. And maybe as we get down to the start of October, when the transfer window closes, that could be when Arsenal get their man, if it is to be Aouar. And it definitely looks like Aouar and Partey are the two top targets for Arsenal, especially now that they've sealed down Dani Ceballos. Lacazette, rumours today that he's going to be having talks this week with Arsenal. His contract, you know, it doesn't expire until 2022, but there's been lots of speculation around Lacazette this whole sort of transfer period, lots of suggestions. Atletico Madrid are interested, this club are interested, that club are interested. Lacazette wants to stay at Arsenal. There was talk over the weekend that he hinted in a little cryptic tweet to answering somebody's response, asking him if he's staying at Arsenal, that he's going to stay. But, you know, 29 now. Again, is this a player we cash in on, or do you see him as an integral part of the team? Certainly, he had a bit of a mixed season last year. Finished off the season well. I think from the start of the year onwards, played well, scored goals, was really an important part of the team. Before that, he hadn't been great. Now, you could also put it down and say a lot of the team hadn't been great. But the problem is, when you're a striker, you get compared in this team to Aubameyang, right? He was consistently good right throughout. So what's going to happen with Lacazette? As I said, he wants to stay. He doesn't want to leave the club. Do the club want to cash in on him? You know what? It's a difficult window this year. You know, there's not lots of clubs out there flush with money. And I think if Arsenal are looking to sell Lacazette, they want to get a lot of money for him. They don't want this guy to be going out for cheap. So my instinct on it is that Lacazette will be staying at Arsenal and will be figuring this weekend. Sokratis may not be, though. He could be gone as soon as this week. The Italian clubs are still interested in him. Napoli, in particular, still interested in signing him. They're negotiating it at Arsenal to get it done. And as I've said on many occasions, it's all about Arsenal possibly waiving their loan fee for him. Might be how they get this deal done. Rob Holding as well. Interesting to see that it was being reported. I think it was David Ornstein reported it last week, saying that he was going to be moving on a loan move last week, Monday, he said. That hasn't materialized. Ornstein reporting again that Arsenal have apparently, you know, having second thoughts on it. You know, they've delayed their decision on what they're going to do with him because they may keep him now. Now, a lot of centre-backs at Arsenal, of course. We know we've got Gabriel now. We've got Saliba. David Luiz is definitely staying. He signed on for a new year. We know a new contract. We know he's going to be staying. So you've got those three. Pablo Mari, injured at the moment. but still staying. Mustafi injured at the moment. Will be very difficult to sell him because he's injured at the moment. So and then of course you've got Callum Chambers injured at the moment. So again, maybe very difficult to sell him. Fulham have been said to be interested, but not going to buy an injured player. Well, as I said before, we do, but I don't know if they're going to buy an injured player. And then of course Rob Holding. So it's too many centre backs. However, with the injuries to Mari, Chambers, you know, maybe also looking at it and saying, well, can we really afford to let a player of his experience leave on a season-long loan? We need to find out what the situation is going to be. So let's just hold back on that a bit. That's what I'm thinking on this one. I think we should keep Rob Holding. He is an experienced player. And as they're saying, there's injuries to players. I really think, you know, try and keep hold of Rob Holding. I know Arsenal, you know, probably wanting to ease up some of the wages as well. But Holding in recent games has done well as well. So going to be interesting. Torreira as well. That's the other one that's lingering on as well. And again, lots of clubs after him. Torino looking to gazump Sampdoria Fiorentina. So many Italian clubs after him. Fiorentina, the club that really want him, but Torino apparently said to be willing to pay 24 million euros up front to get Torreira. Again, I'm certainly a player that I think if we are to seriously go and get Partey, I do think he will be leaving. I do think that Lucas Torreira will be going back to Italy. He wants to go back to Italy. The Italian clubs over there, a host of them want him. It's a deal that I can see definitely taking place. But when is going to be the interesting factor. I think there's a lot of waiting going on with a lot of clubs to make sure that they can get as much money as possible, because apart from what Chelsea have been doing, mega money is not being spent. You know what I mean? Last year in the transfer window, the season before, we saw some crazy money being spent on players. Even Arsenal, 70-odd million on Nicolas Pepe. You haven't really seen a lot of that this transfer window, apart from Chelsea. And Aubameyang. I keep saying at the end of each show, when are we going to see that announcement? When is it going to be done? Or is it not going to be done? There was somebody suggesting to me yesterday that, you know what, Robbie, this might not happen. They've heard a little rumor that he's hanging on until the end of the transfer window to see if any bids come in for him before he announces whether he's signing or not. I don't know. It would be a strange one. It would be an utterly strange one if he didn't sign. All the noises and all the rumors coming out of Arsenal is that he is going to sign. Let's pray that that could possibly be done this week. Certainly for me, it has to be wrapped up this week, surely. We start the Premier League season on Saturday, and I just look on it and say to myself, if an announcement is not made, then you start to think to yourself, well, what's up? What's wrong? Why have we not heard an announcement? Is there a problem? Is he playing a waiting game until the season starts? Until the end of the transfer window, which is going to be in October. Could he be hanging on to see if one of those big clubs do come in for him? Fabrizio Romano suggesting on Friday that, Robbie, don't worry, it's definitely done. As I said, all the noises I've heard is that it's definitely done, but we get my pen here. Sign the thing. That's what we want to see. So let's see if possibly that one is done this week. Have you ever seen a club that takes as long as Arsenal to announce signings? I've said it before. I swear these guys do it deliberately, man. The next time I speak to any of the Arsenal hierarchy, I was going to say to them, I'm going to go, do you do this deliberately to wind us up? Just keep us stressed out. Like me getting up every morning. Let's stress him out. Let's stress out every Arsenal fan in this country and around the world. Oh, let's hope it gets done. Let's hope it's announced ASAP. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget to check out all of our great content coming this week as we build up to the start of the season. 5 days to go. Follow it all here on Odds Checker. The link is in the description. But really looking forward to when we kick off against Fulham on Saturday.
Robbie here from AFTV. We just got to say a big thank you to everybody who follows us across our various channels. Over 1 million followers on YouTube. Don't forget, you can now also catch us on Reddit. We're on Reddit, so get involved with us on Reddit and also on TikTok. Keep it AFTV, baby, right here.